it for we're
Strap
back.
in because we're going to be talking
we're
about
back.
Barney for a minute.
A dinosaur story.
So, if you've watched this show before, if you've been tuning in, you know I love to go back and rewatch shit from my childhood.
To roll back the clock,
Roll back
as
the
it
clock.
were.
And I like to be like, I like to watch stuff and be like, yeah, you know, I'm not the target audience, but can you enjoy this as a child, as an adult? And I've gone back and I've re-examined all of the Sesame Street movies. And when it came time to talk about dinosaurs, it only made sense that, and I kept dancing around it, and you said it, gotta talk about the Barney movie. And the thing about that Barney movie is by the time that Barney movie came out, I was too old for it. So we're going to approach this on two levels. This is kind of going to be a part one for next week, because I'm really hoping that Jordan picks part of what I want to talk about today for next week. Cryptic. But because I also watched, there's a really solid Barney documentary on Peacock called I Love You, You Hate Me. That is about Barney hate. So I kind of want to take sort of this angle on this. I will talk about the movie, but I do kind of want to briefly touch on Barney hate, because before I get into the movie, Barney is a hard subject for me to talk about, because full disclosure, I don't feel ashamed to say this, when I was 4 years old, I fucking love Barney. I love Barney.
Yeah, most kids
I don't know of a millennial or a person our age who didn't love Barney. But Barney hate was a rite of passage. There's multiple children's episodes of television about developing Barney hatred. Recess has an episode of the show about developing Barney hatred.
Stuff? But why? Isn't it obvious? We've all gone through a balky phase, usually at age 2 or 3, maybe as late as 5. Still, to regress into an infantile balky obsession at the age of 10, this is very serious. All I can say is I didn't like Bonky when I was supposed to, and I don't like him now.
The best example I can think of, yeah.
So, I mean, we all did it. We all did the I love you, you hate me, I will kill your family. Like all the jokes like that. All of the variations of making fun of Barney. My uncle, he had a game called Barney Carnage.
I love you.
That was shooting Barney before he was, taking over the world. In the documentary, they talk about the jihad to kill Barney. Like, people fucking hated Barney.
Barney Carnage.
And in when I was watching that documentary, the Barney movie, my first question was Barney hatred overblown? Did he deserve it? Like, because at the end of the day, much like and why did Barney get it and not Mr. Rogers? Because at the end of the day, all Barney did was like, hey, maybe, like, because people would criticize Barney, be like, Barney's sugary fluff doesn't teach you anything. But Barney teaches you to be nice and treat others respectfully and be kind and use your imagination and engage with the world. Like, he didn't really do anything, and he wasn't really all that much worse than, again, Mr. Rogers. So why were people like setting Barney on fire? And Barney,
or even forgetting Mr. Rogers, I mean, you had Sesame Street.
Yeah, why did Sesame, in this documentary they show there's a point where
when you think of the functionality of how the Barney suit actually works, Barney is basically just Big Bird.
Just Big Bird. And that's what's funny is in this documentary, which I feel like we're probably going to get more into the meat of that next week. But there's a bit where you see at this convention to hurt Barney, where you just show up and you beat up Barney things.
So bad.
It ended with Barney versus Big Bird, like wrestling.
With a right wing hook, Barney hits the floor. No more purple dinosaur.
And Big Bird wins. So
Big
Bird's allowed to exist, but Barney isn't, and they're kind of functionally for children the same character. So why did Barney take such shit, but Big Bird didn't? Is it because by the time Barney came out, Big Bird is kind of an institution. Is that why?
Okay, two things. One, that sounds amazing. Awful, but
It's a
amazing.
really good
Um,
documentary. It's really interesting. It really
no,
genuinely is.
I mean the convention.
Oh, the convention.
Um,
No, me
like,
now cringes at it, but like when I
oh,
was
I
like
cringe
18,
so
17,
hard.
I would have
But
fucking loved it.
but like I would go to it not so much with hate. It would be an ironic thing for me where I'd go and I would be killing myself laughing because of how
Yeah.
ridiculous it is.
But
Um,
so you had like
to answer your question, I think part. How do I word this?
place
I
and
think
time.
part of I think part of I think part of it has to do with place and time, but I think part of why Sesame Street, Big Bird, Sesame Street, all of it works is one for one thing, um, Big Bird is a kid in it, and it's a lot harder to hate a kid.
Yeah.
Like functionally, it's a
Okay,
lot hater.
but Bert and Ernie don't
But
get shit
also,
though. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say also, I think part of why Sesame Street works better than uh uh Barney, and this is a stupid reason. I think it has to do with his color.
It's
Quite
gotta be the
honestly,
purple dinosaur bit.
I think it's the purple dinosaur bit. Like I think if he had been like a blue dinosaur, blue is a boy's color.
Yeah.
Blue is
What's
a,
interesting is he started off as blue. He
or
started off as
like
blue. That's what's interesting.
or red or green or like green. I think probably he would have just been received as a
Yeah,
dinosaur.
yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
honestly, as stupid and pedantic of a reason as it is, I do truly believe a large part of it, and this feeds into the fact that, and I
I think it
know
was a gay
it's
homophobic thing.
well, that's where
Yeah.
I was
I,
gonna say I know it makes me sound like woke or whatever, but like people are a lot more receptive to things nowadays. Back in the 90s,
yeah, it
if
was
there was
time and place.
any hint of something being quote unquote gay, then it was hated.
Like I
And
think that Mr. Rogers had Mr. Rogers tried to
purple,
exist in the 90s and
I think
hadn't been around since this.
purple. Sorry, real quick. I think purple is a little too close to pink for the 90s
I think
sensibilities.
so. Yeah. Well, yeah. In
And
a
that
world where like Jackass and Beavis and Butthead and all of those guys, all that rough, and I mean that's what they say in that documentary is like all that shit. But yeah, there's the woman who created Barney and Barney's history is very interesting. We don't have time to get into it. We will put a pin in that because I need to talk about the movie. That is all background to Barney's Great Adventure.
This holiday season, get ready for an adventure as big as your imagination. As Barney the Purple Dinosaur invites you to share the excitement
Don't you think that this is lots of fun? Dreams are fancy-free.
and the magic of his first ever movie adventure.
We better get started having fun right now.
It's the summer holidays, and when Barney comes to life,
It's beautiful.
the fun begins.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
As a simple wish
I wish I could have a real adventure this summer. Do things that no one else has done before.
leads to an incredible adventure.
Now, my thing with movies based on a popular television show is always like, how do we raise the stakes and do a blank the movie? And
Yeah.
when we talked about Sesame Street, we said this movie does not feel like it's made for its target audience. It feels like it's a movie made for 10-year-old or 8-year-olds or like or adults. Like it
I
doesn't.
maintain that movie is still like is a Muppets movie. It's not a Sesame Street movie.
This movie does a pretty decent. Okay, up front, I didn't hate it. Honestly, like I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say I am not the target audience. I'm not the target audience, obviously. But what's weird
Yeah.
about it is it's not much like the Sesame Street movie, not made so much for its target audience. It's not made for 3-year-olds. It's not just like an extended episode of the show. It's a movie. It's the movie version of Barney, and it's got some interesting ideas. So it's about
And stakes.
not stakes. It doesn't have stakes, but that's kind of the point. but it is the movie that I want. The one where it's Barney comes to the real world and an adult has to reconcile with Barney being in his adult world. That's kind of what this movie is about, where it's a little boy who you would recognize. I can't think of anything he's in that off the top of my head, but he's in stuff that you know. But it's him, his sister, and the sister's friend go to stay with their grandparents for like a week in the summer. And they're in this movie, Barney is a fictional character, like the show. The Barney is a character, and they've got a Barney doll, and they want to play with him and pretend and do all this stuff that like my one criticism is they're too old to be liking Barney, but they're like 7 or 8, and he's like 12.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
no, too old.
They're too old, but they're if they were 3, they'd be too young for this movie to work.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so they go and they're like, "Oh, you got to believe in Barney, whatever." And he takes Barney, and he's like, "I'm too old to believe in Barney or whatever." And he takes the Barney doll, and
so see how you get around that is you add one more character who is like 3 or 4 years old, and it's that kid's belief that's bringing it all to life, and the older ones are like, well, we're too old to believe in this, and that's the point.
And so he goes to hide Barney in like a bathtub, and he's like, well, where? They're like, we can't find him. He's like, well, if you just believe enough. And he turns into Barney, and he hops out of the kid turns around, and Barney's just standing there. He's like, can you pass me a towel? It's like, what the fuck? Where did he come from? And the rest of the movie is the kid is Barney. Barney follows them around, and it's a Barney movie. They're doing musical numbers, and they're having a good time, and they're playing with Barney. Like there's a point where like the kids go off with Barney, and the kid's like, wait a minute. And it cuts to them, and they're in this barn, and Barney's just dancing for them and giving them their own little private show. And you're like, this is weird, right? This is weird. And the little boy runs in. He's like, yeah, you gotta go. Like, you can't just show up and be Barney. This is weird. And so then he's like, yeah, you gotta meet the grandparents. Barney's like, I'd love to meet the grandparents. And they're having dinner with the grandparents. Like, yeah, we hung out with Barney, and we had a great time all day. And the grandparents are talking to them as if Barney's like an imaginary friend. They're like, oh yeah, I'm sure you did hang out with Barney all day, and it was a good time that you hung out with Barney. He's like, no, Barney's out in the barn. Yeah, I know, I'm sure Barney is out in the barn. No, I mean Barney, he's literally out in the barn.
He's in the barn. Come see him.
Come see him. And they're like, no, I'm sure.
No.
He's like, yeah, don't leave Barney in the barn all night. He's like, oh my god.
Now see, if you use another mascot character, this becomes a very different movie. Yeah, Ronald McDonald, the clown. He's out in the barn. We've been hanging out with this clown man all day.
And so then the movie kind of does a thing.
Very different movie.
Where again, it's so then Barney comes back. And it's rocking him on this like swing, and the girls go into the house, and there's this really kind of honestly sweet and nice quiet moment where the girls go back in the house, and the kid's like standing on the porch, and Barney's like, "Are you gonna come inside?" And he's like, "Well, no," and he's like, I don't believe in that kind of stuff. And he's like, what do you believe in? What's your wish? And it's this really kind of, I don't want to say somber, but really kind of introspective moment for Barney, where Barney is like talking about this kid's feelings of what I really want is like a big magical super adventure. And the wishing star happens, and then there's an egg, and then there's a big adventure involving the egg. But yeah, you're like, oh, this is Barney. This is actually kind of mature for Barney. And the movie's kind of about the older kid who's become cynical, discovering imagination. And you're like, oh, okay, that's actually kind of interesting. And yeah, there's all these scenes where it's like it's unclear as to whether or not Barney is real or not. Where there's another scene where they go to like, okay, we're gonna introduce you to Barney, and Barney's like, oh yeah, I'd love to meet your grandparents. Let's go. And they go, and they get to the grandparents, and they turn around, okay, Barney, meet grandma and grandpa, and Barney's just gone. And they're like, what?
He was never there to begin with.
It cuts to Barney, and he's quietly taking care of they because the brother and sister have got a little baby brother, and he's taking care of the baby who is being fussy. And the older brother is like, what the fuck, basically? Where were you? Like, you were supposed to show up. And he's like, oh, the baby needed attention, so I helped her out instead. And the grandparents reveal that their neighbor is a like a bird person who can study eggs, and there's a big reveal of how they have to get the egg back to the barn where it landed so it can hatch, otherwise it won't hatch properly, and that's the adventure. And there's a whole bunch of shenanigans, and the neighbor sees Barney and doesn't react as though it's weird, and you're like, okay, so Barney is real, and then nobody reacts to it, and then all the characters walk off, and this is gonna challenge your memory of Barney. You remember the little baby dinosaur?
I remember there's a green one and there's a yellow one.
Green one, yeah. The green one just walks on camera and talks to the audience, and clearly trying to replicate the thing from Sesame
The
Street,
show.
and talks to the audience like, "Have you seen my blankie?" And she's like, "I don't know where it is," and then she just wanders off. And there's a bit later where they go into town, and the eggs going all over the place, and the eggs, they wind up in town while there's this parade. Because the whole thing is there's this celebration of some sort in town. And the egg is about to get crushed by this parade. And all of a sudden, the yellow one, BJ, is there. And he's just there in the background, randomly. This dinosaur is there, randomly. And nobody addresses it. And then the baby randomly walks on, and the mayor has like a microphone, and she takes the microphone out of his hand and is like, "Have you seen my blankie?" And all of them like, "No, we haven't seen your blankie." And she goes, "Okay," and then she wanders off. And you're like, "What?"
So they are real.
No, so they are real. And so then eventually the grandparents do meet Barney, and they freak out. They're like, "What the fuck? It's Barney. Barney's real. Like, what the?" And so you're like, "Wait, so is he real?" And then there's the whole thing with whatever the thing in the egg was, and the movie ends with BJ turning to the green one, who's his little sister. Is like, "Okay, it's time to go," and she's like, "Okay, good night, everybody," and she waves everybody goodbye, and they just disappear in a flash of dust,
in a magical cloud of dust.
Yeah, and then they just disappear. And I'm like, so are they magic? What is the deal? So yeah, so there are concepts in this movie that I liked, where it was like, yeah, the idea of like a older kid having to rediscover Barney and appreciating that Barney isn't just for little kids, and there's valuable lessons to learn from this. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Until, and this is the moment where I was like, okay, now I get it. I get it a little bit. I get why parents hated this contemporarily. I understand. And it was, there's an all is lost moment where they've all given up and sad. And Barney gets up.
When it looks like all is lost and you're feeling really sad, it doesn't do a bit of good to keep on feeling bad. Just make up your mind that you're gonna see it through. And soon I know you'll find that you can make your dreams come true.
And sings a song that doesn't teach them how to emotionally regulate in a moment of being upset or sad. Doesn't teach them how to like deal with their negative emotions. Just tells them to go, just get over it. It's like, just get over it. Just get over your emotions. Bury them deep down and just get over it. Stop being sad. And you're like, yeah, I get it. I get it. Like, it's literally, I'm like kind of exaggerating, but literally one of the lyrics is basically like, just get over it. I know you're upset right now, but just get over it. And you're like, yeah, that's not really helping kids or teaching them how to be emotionally stable. And it's just like singing empty, meaningless, hollow songs. Like, I
Jibber jabber.
Yeah, I get it. There's no substance to this. It's not like Sesame Street where it's teaching them math. I kind of get it. But yeah, ultimately that's my final question on this Barney video. Was Barney overhated?
Yes.
I think so. I think we were overly mean to Barney. I think maybe we owe Barney an apology.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, he's a purple dinosaur of my imagination. That means he's eating people.
I mean,
He's happy.
Barney is a dinosaur of my imagination. He's happy because he's eating people.
Yeah. And he just looks like a big normal dinosaur. Except he's purple.
But that's funny. I said all of these movies were bad. I don't think this movie was bad. When I said that, I forgot that this movie actually wasn't that bad. It was bad for me because I'm not its target demographic. But I so much.
Hey there, everybody! It's N-Card Justin here. Let me know down in the comments. What do you think? Was the hatred for Barney overblown? Did we all overhate Barney? Did we hate him the correct amount? Let me know what your thoughts about Barney are down in the comments. But in the meantime, if you would like to see the full podcast that this video is from, you can click the box on the left, and that's going to take you to our dinosaur special, where we talked about dinosaurs. Or you click the box on the right, that's going to take you to a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. Or you can just leave us a like. That helps us out too. We will see you all in the next video. Have a good day, everybody.